We have heard the government perspective. Since today's conclave is about the collaboration between the public and the private, we need to also hear the industry perspective. For that, please join me in welcoming on stage Mr. Nikhil Bagalkotkar, Director, Technical Sales, Autodesk. Please welcome him with a big round of applause.
Namaskar and thank you for making time. I would like to start by thanking Shinde Saab and Prithviraj Saab for the session that we had right now and sharing a lot of insights in terms of what the government is doing related to water and water supply networks. As somebody who's born and brought up in Maharashtra, water has been part of the social psyche. Right from movies that have kind of played a big role in our lives. I don't know if anybody remembers this side. This is a newer movie. It went on to talk about how water can affect life and affect life in multiple ways and the reason for living itself in many, many, many ways. And as we speak right now, we are at a watershed moment in the Indian context. So, and not just India, across the world, we are seeing climate change, we're seeing situations that have never ever been witnessed before. We've been drawing water out of the ground at unprecedented levels. And while this is the global map, the map for India is not very different. Across a large part of our country today, there is massive water stress related to overpumping of underground water as well as over usage of water. While this is the reality on one side of the world, the other side is also that we have this huge expected demand in water. By 2047, when we have this Viksit Bharat mission, we are currently at around 27% urbanization. When we reach the figure of 40% urbanization by 2047, the water demand is expected to not grow by 10% or 20%. It's 50% increase in the water demand. Now, just to bring that into perspective, imagine the city of Mumbai. We all traveled from different offices here. We would have spent a little bit of time coming here, cursing the traffic. Imagine double the number of people in this city in the next few years. We all know what's happening right now. Anybody experienced rains in October, end of October before? Never happens, right? It happened today morning. So what's happening is that the climate is changing. But other than that, there is a massive movement of people from the rural side to the cities. And this is because everybody wants better livelihoods. If you've stayed in a village, the farmland is 20 gunta, 40 gunta, 30 gunta, and the entire family runs off of that particular piece of land, and that's no longer sustainable. So there is no option but to move to cities for better livelihoods. And that's what is going to lead to a massive upsurge in demand. While I talk about this massive upsurge in demand, the reality is it's not that there is less water. There is sometimes even more water than we need. So just this year, close to 3 crore of us Indians were impacted due to floods. That's just in 2025. And this year was slightly better off than some of the other years where entire states were submerged. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that the entire industry, the water industry, the water infrastructure industry is at a very, very critical juncture. On one side, massive demands. On the other sides, there is unpredictability due to climatic conditions. And on the third side, there is a completely different challenge altogether. Just to share some perspective, and because I work with the industry day in and day out, and I've been doing this for many decades now, the cost of labor from 2019 to 2025 is up 150%. So if you paid X, you are now paying 2.5X just on labor. The cost of steel, which is required in every infrastructure project, is up 80%. Copper is up 150%. So everything that goes into building this infrastructure is going up. And it is not going up by a percentage of 2% or 3% every year. We're talking about appreciations of 20%, 30%, and in some cases post-COVID or during the COVID phase when lockdowns were on, as much as 40, 45% as well. So what is happening is there's increasing demand, there is shortage in terms of resources, costs are going up. If you look at labor availability, huge problem. for the industry today. It's documented in every second month. You will see an article by L&T or Tata Projects where they say that they're not able to get labor for their sites. And at the same time, there is this increased demand and increased environmental pressure. So, huge demand, supply is becoming more and more scarce, costs are going higher and higher. But do you know that 30% of the landfills in our country is filled with construction waste? So if you go inside any landfill in our country, or anybody who's done an interior job for their house, you would just begin to imagine the amount of material that was actually put in that ends up in a landfill at some point in time. So 30% of everything we spend money on ends up in a landfill. And that is happening because of multiple reasons. The way a project was conceived and the reality would have changed during the course of the project. And not because the person who planned did a bad job or person who's constructing doing a bad job, the ground reality itself changed. And the only way to kind of build this connect between the ground reality and the project which is live is through something called as digital transformation. This is no longer optional, to be really honest. If we have to build infrastructure that will stand the test of time for the next 100 years and continue to grow and be the superpower that we want to be, we will have to make leapfrogs when it comes to technology adoption across multiple sectors in the water domain. Now, when I say this, I'll probably pause for a minute and say, all this sounds like a lot of talk, right? So instead of hearing to what I'm saying, what we did is we surveyed close to 4,000 people across the world who work on different kinds of projects in the infrastructure domain, including water, including roads, rail, and all of them, the operations or for the projects, we're talking about 28% increased sustainability by reducing waste that ends up in the landfill. We're talking about improved collaboration, reduced costs, and improved customer satisfaction. One of the things that when I meet government authorities, one of the things that I always tell them is, every time somebody asks for a status update about a project, it is really, really difficult to give a status update, because what happens is then you have a waterfall of calls that happen, where the senior leadership gives it to the middle leadership, the middle leadership will then call somebody else, and basically it reaches all the way to the supervisor or the foreman, and then it again boils all the way up. By going digital, this entire process of what is happening, project varti आता काय स्थिती आहे, this can be given in a matter of seconds. And now with technologies like AI, this can be done even more quickly. Imagine आपल्याला एक प्रश्न आला की प्रोजेक्टचा हा भाग ह्याच्यामध्ये हा काम ह्या तारखेला व्हायला पाहिजे होता, आता झालाय की नाही. All you need to do is provide a natural language query for this part of the project, for this package, what is this? And AI, which has been there for now 2 years, is now advanced to such a level that it can go through your project, it can go through all the data, all the designs, all the digital information that is available inside the project and give you a status as of that point in time. आणि मग तुम्ही त्याला कुठल्याही प्रकाराचे प्रश्न विचारू शकता. तुम्ही जरा ChatGPT वापरलाय, or if you've used Grok, or if you've used any of these AI platforms, you will realize it's very easy to work with. You just ask a question, it will go and do the research and come back to you. Imagine something similar possible for your projects through digital transformation. So this is a journey that we've been on. Now you will remember AutoCAD as one of the products that we've been very famous for. Autodesk is synonymous with AutoCAD. We started that way back in 1982. But in the last 45 years, a lot has changed. And as the industry has evolved, we've come to the realization that in countries like India, we need to have products and solutions that are specifically built for the ground realities. Indian ground reality is very different from the ground reality in US. It is very different from ground reality in many parts of the world. And त्यासाठी even the way we design and think is very different. So we have been investing a lot of time, effort, energy and money in terms of building solutions specifically built for the Indian context. तर मागच्या 2-3 वर्षामध्ये आम्ही साधारणतः 40 एक प्रोडक्ट अक्वायर केले आणि त्या प्रोडक्ट्सला आम्ही 2 वर्षांनी मॉडिफाय करत होतो. जसं आपल्या भारतात आपण मॉडिफाईड हेझन-विलियन मेथड वापरतो for doing the drainage design or water supply design, and what we've done is we've now incorporated that. Or there are things that are required very, very specific to India for projects like river linking, which is what we've now incorporated within the platform itself. And ह्यामुळे what we've been able to do is we've been trying to build the first of its kind platform, which is trying to tie together the entire life cycle. कधी कधी कसं होतं, प्रोजेक्ट आपण चालू करतो तेव्हा आपल्याला खूप जास्त एफर्ट असतो, कारण आपल्याला डीपीआर बनवावं लागतो, डीपीआर रिव्ह्यू करावा लागतो, टेंडरिंग प्रोसेस असते. मग त्यानंतर वेगळे एंटिटीज येतात पिक्चरमध्ये. यू विल हॅव समबडी कमिंग अँड डुईंग डिटेल डिझाईन, यू विल हॅव समबडी कमिंग अँड डुईंग कन्स्ट्रक्शन. पण तो मधला जो पार्ट आहे ना, तो भरपूर ओपेक असतो, आपल्याला कळतच नाही. जेव्हा आपल्याला हँड ओव्हर होतो प्रोजेक्ट, व्हॉट वी गेट इज ऑल द बेस्ट अँड अ बॉक्स ऑफ पेपर्स, which is the ground reality. You get a box of papers saying that this is what was executed, and cake kapla jato, project has been delivered, and we all try to move ahead. आता हा जो प्रॉब्लेम आहे ह्याला आपण कसं सॉल्व्ह करता येईल? नॉट थ्रू प्रोसिजर्स बट थ्रू युझिंग डिजिटल टेक्नॉलॉजी, अँड दिस इज एक्झॅक्टली व्हॉट वीव बीन वर्किंग ऑन. द आयडिया इज की जे प्लॅनिंग मध्ये जातं आणि जे कन्स्ट्रक्ट होतं किंवा जे डिटेल डिझाईनमध्ये जातं, देर इज 360 डिग्री विजिबिलिटी ऑन दॅट प्रोजेक्ट. आणि इवन वेन यू आर डुईंग कन्स्ट्रक्शन, जो डिझाईनमध्ये आहे तोच कन्स्ट्रक्ट व्हायला पाहिजे. त्याच्यामध्ये आपण जे हे जुगाड प्रकार करतो ना, तो झाला तर तो लगेच दिसायला पाहिजे. सो ती ट्रान्सपेरन्सी आणि विजिबिलिटी द डिजिटल प्लॅटफॉर्म इज प्रोव्हाइडिंग. आणि शेवटी वेन यू गेट अ हँड ओव्हर, इट इज नो लॉंगर अ बॉक्स ऑफ पेपर्स बट इट इज अ लिंक. आणि त्या लिंकमध्ये सगळं इन्फॉर्मेशन आहे, कुठून पाईप गेली, किंवा कुठून आम्ही ड्रेनेज ले केलाय, त्याची कॅपॅसिटी काय आहे, किंवा त्याची जेव्हा आम्ही जॉईन केला त्याला लेगसी नेटवर्क बरोबर, तर त्याची सिच्युएशन काय आहे, त्याच्यामध्ये क्रॅक्स आहेत का, किंवा किती वर्षापूर्वीची आहे, त्याचं मटेरियल काय होतं. सो यू हॅव अ रिअल टाईम व्ह्यू ऑफ व्हॉट इज हॅपनिंग. आणि हे बिल्ड करण्यासाठी ॲज अ सेट आम्ही 40 ऑड प्रॉडक्ट्स अक्वायर केले होते, अँड ओव्हर द लास्ट फ्यू इयर्स वी बीन ट्राईंग टू मर्ज ऑल ऑफ देम इनटू वन सिंगल युनिफाईड व्ह्यू. आता हे करताना आम्हाला बरेचसे नवीन चीज कळले, जसं की महाराष्ट्रामध्ये जे GIS आहे प्लॅटफॉर्म, तो अत्यंत महत्त्वाचा आहे, कारण GISच्या बेसिसवरतीच मोस्ट ऑफ द डिझाईन हॅपन्स. तुमचा सेन्ससचा एक लेअर आहे, किंवा तुमचा वॉटर रिक्वायरमेंटचा एक लेअर आहे, तुमची जी प्लेसमेंट ऑफ इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर बिल्डिंग्स वगैरे आहे ते सगळे GIS वरती आहेत. सो दॅट्स वाय व्हॉट वी डिड इज वी बिल्ड द प्लॅटफॉर्म ग्राउंड अप टू इंटिग्रेट विथ द GIS प्लॅटफॉर्म ऑफ चॉईस. आम्हाला हे कळलं की भारतात ArcGIS हा जास्त वापरला जातो, त्यामुळे आम्ही मग त्याच्याबरोबर फुल डाऊन अप इंटिग्रेशन केलं. आणि मग आम्ही आता सध्याला जे एक्झिस्टिंग सिस्टीम्स आहेत, साहेबांनी स्काडा सिस्टीम बाबतीत थोडंसं आम्हाला माहिती दिली. वी ऑल्सो इंटिग्रेटेड विथ स्काडा ॲज अ प्लॅटफॉर्म to have the digital replica get information from SCADA, and using webhooks you can now going forward even digitally control the networks. तर आता एवढं सगळं सोल्युशन आहे, तर हे कुठे कुठे वापरता येईल? तर दी एरियाज जे आम्ही सिलेक्ट केलेत ते आहे एक ड्रेनेज, दुसरं आहे स्टॉर्म अँड सिवर अँड फ्लड मॅनेजमेंट, नेक्स्ट आहे वॉटर डिस्ट्रीब्युशन, वॉटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स, ॲसेट मॅनेजमेंट अँड ऑपरेशनल अनालिटिक्स. आणि हे असं नाही की आता होत नाही आहेत, हे डिझाईन होतात, बरेच चांगले डिझाईन होतात, पण हे जे होतात ना ते जुन्या पद्धतीने डिझाईन होतात. आता सध्याला इन द डे अँड एज ऑफ AI तुम्ही अजूनही एक एक रिबार मॉडेल करत असाल, किंवा मॅन्युअली कोणीतरी जाऊन एका पेपरवरती चेकलिस्ट भरत असेल की हे काम झालं, हे काम झालं, हा पोर झाला, हा फॉर्म वर्क जो आहे तो इन्स्टॉल झाला. हे सगळं करण्यापेक्षा ऑल ऑफ दॅट कॅन बी डन डिजिटली आणि इमिडिएट विजिबिलिटी असते. अँड विथ AI व्हॉट यू कॅन डू इज, आपण बरेचसे नवीन केपेबिलिटीज आता पॉसिबल आहेत. म्हणजे इमॅजिन करा, एक जागा आहे, प्लॉट ऑफ लँड ऑर अ पर्टिक्युलर सेक्टर. इन मुंबई टर्म्स लेट्स से देर इज अ पर्टिक्युलर वॉर्ड, अँड इनसाइड दॅट वॉर्ड देर इज अ प्रॉब्लेम ऑफ वॉटर प्रॉडलिंग ड्युरिंग द मॉन्सून सीझन. So rather than having people go on the ground and put a dumpy level or put a totem station and create a scan and do analysis over next 3 months, टेक्नॉलॉजी आता एवढी पुढे सरकलेली आहे की तुम्ही ऍक्च्युअली एक ड्रोन फ्लाय करू शकता इन दॅट पर्टिक्युलर वॉर्ड. द ड्रोन विल गेट द लायडार डेटा. तुम्ही ऑटोमॅटिकली टोपोग्राफी तयार करू शकता अँड AI कॅन सिट ऑन टॉप ऑफ दॅट लायडार डेटा आणि तुम्हाला सांगू शकतं की हा जो एरिया आहे ना इथे पडलिंग होते आणि 60-70% of the time the water collection doesn't happen, or rather flooding doesn't happen because somebody designed it bad. It happened because of some extrinsic reasons. म्हणजे एका जागेला मातीमध्ये क्ले जास्त होतं, एकामध्ये नव्हतं. तिथे जमीन खालीच धसणार, जिथे नाहीये तिथे वरतीच राहणार. So now when the water starts puddling over there, because of that now तुमचा जो स्टॉर्म वॉटर सिस्टम होता तिथे पाणी गेलं नाही, तुमचं पाणी दुसरीकडे गेलं आणि मग पडलिंग तयार झाली. We all blame everybody, but sometimes the fix is very, very simple. That is what we're trying to do with this technology, with platforms like AI. I will not end without giving one example. तर हा example आहे चंदरवाल वॉटर ट्रीटमेंट प्लांटचा. हा L&T नी डिलिव्हर केला एंड टू एंड. हा साधारणतः 8 वर्षापूर्वी डिझाईन केला आणि डिलिव्हर केला. ह्याचा एक चीज ही महत्वपूर्ण आहे की this was done in very unique circumstances. And the reason I'm showing this example is it is very relevant to the city of Mumbai, Pune, or Maharashtra. Our cities have not been established in 1970 or 1980. They've been there, before 20 of my generations. And as a result of it, काय झालंय की there is space availability जे आहे. Even if I want to set up a sewage treatment plant in Mumbai, where is the space? तर ह्या प्लांटसाठी जी जागा पाहिजे फॉर द MLD कॅपॅसिटी रिक्वायर्ड त्याच्यापेक्षा अर्धी जागाच होती. सो इफ यू रिक्वायर्ड X, you had 0.5X only. And then what they did is, because they were using digital technology and BIM as a platform, ते त्या जाग्यामध्ये आयटरेट करू शकले. What is the best way to lay out the equipment required in that particular plot of land to reach that capacity? आपण ॲज ह्युमन्स किती डिझाईन्स इव्हॅल्युएट करतो? 1, 2 किंवा 4. कोणी खूपच जास्त इंटरेस्टेड असलं तर 10. त्यापुढे नाही करू शकत. द AI वॉज एबल टू काइंड ऑफ हेल्प देम अंडरस्टँड मिलियन्स ऑफ ऑप्शन्स आणि त्यामध्ये दे वर एबल टू टेक डिझाईन डिसिजन्स दॅट हेल्प देम मीट दॅट स्पेसिफिक रिक्वायरमेंट. तर बेसिकली जेव्हा हे पूर्ण प्रोजेक्ट झालं, एकतर आहे जे इंजिनिअरिंग चॅलेंज होता तो सॉल्व्ह करू शकलो, पण त्या व्यतिरिक्त सगळ्यात मोठं चॅलेंज हा होता की डिलिव्हरिंग इट ऑन टाइम. सो साधारणतः 4,500 तास मॅन आवर्स जे आहेत ते वाचले आणि approximately $300,000 or $2 crores of savings were realized when they use this technology. So while I am Autodesk and I have the technology, I'll keep talking about this. Hopefully during the day-to-day, we will have some really, really respected people who've done these projects using this technology, show you live examples of how this can be realized on the ground. And with that, I would like to thank you all and hand over to the next presenter.
Thanks a lot for your insightful presentation.